Now then, Twitch, welcome back to some more Thaumcraft and Botania Unite. We're on episode number 6 today, and guys, this is just not working. You remember from last episode we created this. Now this is actually, I like this system quite a lot, and it would work if it's not for one massive problem. The Belthorn. This Belthorn, that and also the floating exaflame doesn't add, doesn't help. But I've pinpointed it to this thing, and it kills mobs, it kills cows, 2 at a time, and it simply does not create enough mana to kill the cows. And that is the problem. When it kills a cow, it's using more mana than what it's creating by eating the steak, or, as I've tested in my testing world, even just the normal bog standard raw meat. If I took this exaflame out and then had no furnace here and just had hoppers all the way down to my Gormarillis down there, it still doesn't matter. I've even changed it to a petite Belthorn. It still doesn't matter. It still takes more mana to kill the cow than it does to create the food from the cow. That's just how it is, guys. And it doesn't matter if this is a tier 5, a tier 4, tier 3, it really doesn't matter. It's all down to the Belthorn. It's just taking too much mana to kill one cow than what we get back from it. So that is the big problem with this. This entire system just does not work. It's a good little, item drop farm. If you really want a lot of raw beef and a lot of leather, then this would definitely work. But you have to have excess mana in your system to be able to deal with something like this. So we're stuck, really. We are stuck, and I think it's down to something like this tree farm that we're gonna have to do something a little bit creative with the tree farm, or I just don't know. I don't know. I could go the route of the farm, the little farm that I had there before I messed it up and put this here, and that still doesn't work either. But I think that we've really got to get into Thaumcraft, and the main reason for this, guys, is the fact that Thaumcraft has things in here that does the same job as what a mana-sucking plant would do in Botania. So let me take a quick look. No, that's the Botania book. So what I mean, guys, is... Oh, if I can find the damn thing anywhere. It's probably... Yeah, there it is. So in here, Golemancy is something I really need to get into, because if I can get golems, guys, there's so many different automation jobs that I can do with golems that doesn't use mana that will also benefit me by making a mana farm. So that is where I am at the moment. I'm back with Thaumcraft, guys, because I've really got to get into this. Now, of course, this is a hell of a lot of boring for you guys on camera. So what I'm going to do is, for the majority of today... Oh, look. I can use that? Seriously? Oh, nice. I never knew you could do that. I know that you can surround it with certain blocks and that it makes a difference, like bookcases and stuff. We'll have to move all this stuff, because having it outside our house is really not that fantastic. So doing this on camera is quite boring, guys, just creating theories and getting through theories and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all that off camera, and I'll come back when I manage to find things. After a little bit of messing around, we've got our first theory, 85% alchemy, 57% auramancy, 5% fundamentals. Let's complete that. We've got another one of them, which is awesome. Now, what does that actually mean for us? Having unlocked that, we can go into, of course, alchemy and start doing this. So, to get into stuff like this, elementum, niter is a useful substance. It provides heat, light, and aesthetic pleasing. Unfortunately, it provides only slightly more heat than a torch, enough to slowly heat some water or keep you warm at night, but not enough for practical purposes like smelting ore. I need something more reactive. I should take some time and collect my thoughts and study the elements. Maybe there is a way to improve the coal like I did glowstone. So we've done that. Charcoal in with ignis, peditio, and potentia will make elementum. I know this. I don't think... It's not saying that I need to actually do that. No, it's not. That's pretty good, actually. I like that. But we can get into essentia smelting. And to do this, we need one of each type of these V's crystals. Now, I think I'm missing one at the moment. What am I missing? Oh, no, it's there. Ignis. So one of each type, like that, and I think that will give me everything I need. Yes. complete. Now, did that actually use my... Yeah, it did. There's been a couple of changes to Thaumcraft, guys. These V's crystals, unless I'm being completely an idiot, when you're going through these theories and the V's crystals come up, it doesn't actually take the items out of your inventory and use those items anymore. I think that it used to do that. Also, instead of me shoving quartz slivers in here all the time and getting loads and loads of fabricos back, I'm getting nothing. Like, if there's nothing in there, it doesn't pop up and it doesn't give me anything back. I don't know if that's a change as well, or really I was just shoving a load of fabrico in there without realising, which is probably the case. So, out of all of this then, guys, we are at stage 2 of 4 of Essentious Smelting, and this is good, this is key, because I really want this, and it will help me get some of the stuff that I really can't get through normal means. Like, say for example... Oh, I can't remember what the actual, would you believe, guys? I can't remember what the actual one is. But there is a way, oh, it's Precantatio, that's the one. There's a way of easily getting Precantatio with a centrifuge than it is in the entire world trying to get Precantatio. Because, of course, I've been using Salis Mundus to get that. This Essential Centrifuge will help me massively towards that. So, oh my goodness gracious me. That is a lot of these crystals. We've got a lot of work to do. Look what I stumbled across, guys. This is actually very, very decent. If I was to have a look at the Golem inside here, if we go to the next one, Aspect from Item Stack, we can see what would actually give us Golem. And of course it is snow, so I'm going to have to go and find some snow. But we can do this for Precantatio, of course, which is here. There it is. And we can see exactly what gives us Precantatio. And as you can probably see, guys, it really... isn't a lot that I can readily get my hands on. A redstone relay, interestingly enough, gives us Precantatio. Other than that, nothing really. Thaumic bases, there's golden saplings and ender saplings. They're interesting. Never seen them before. But other than that, guys, if you're taking a look at this, there really isn't that lot that's readily available for us to get our hands on. So that's not bad. I like the fact that I can find this out now. Interestingly enough as well, Salis Mundus doesn't seem to be on this list, even though I know that Salis Mundus does in fact give you Precantatio, unless I'm just being an idiot and can't see it. Oh, there it is, look. Salis Mundus. Oh, hold up a minute. Is it giving us, like... Oh, there's 2 pages I'm just not looking at. So, oh, what's that? Elementium Caster's Gauntlet. Interesting. But still looking at this, guys, I don't think it's very easy to get ourselves a hold of any Precantatio. Apart from Salis Mundus, of course, that seems to be nice and easy to get hold of, but other than that, nothing. Dragon Egg. Wow. Banners. They seem interestingly enough that you can get them from there. Swede seeds. I've never seen them either. Where on earth do you get swede seeds from? Oh. Okay, you can make these. Oh, guys. Well, it might be worth it just for the Precantatio of getting swede seeds. How much does it give us? Let's have a quick look. 2 Precantatio inside these seeds. I would presume that they grow into something. I'm not sure what they grow into, but it might be worth looking into. Guys, we're going to have a lot of stuff going into the aura over here. Permutatio. Permutatio is not easy to get. It really isn't easy to get. I mean, all of this stuff has so much stuff inside it that it was just very, very hard to get it. I went with the hopper in the end. We got a little bit of metallum from there as well, but we did get some Permutatio from that, which I'm quite happy about. But the rest is currently floating off into the atmosphere. Now, in the Thaumonomicon, everything is already done, complete. Boosh. Lovely jubbly. Now we needed an observation of alchemy and a theory of alchemy, and we need the Essentious Smeltery. We need to make this. Alright guys, we're very nearly there. We just need to sprinkle a little bit of magic dust all over that to make a cauldron. And we are pretty much ready and raring to go. Let's get the crucible, sorry, not the cauldron. Oh, that was from Salis Mundus. I need that there, like that. I need that round there, like that, and it appears I've put my things away. There they are. My brass plates. I made some of those. And what else do we need? Is that what I need? I need 1 Ignis Crystal and 50 Vis cost. Well, luckily for me, guys, I've got 1 single Ignis Crystal left. So, lovely jubbly, we've got the Essentia Smeltery. And this is something that is very, very good for us. So we'll complete that. I have drawn up plans for an Essentia smelter. The smelter works like a normal furnace by burning coal to produce heat, but instead of smelting ore into metal, it breaks down objects into a slurry of raw, unprocessed Essentia. This process isn't very efficient, and a small amount of Essentia is converted into flux, roughly 20% of the time. The next step in the process is to try to take this Essentia slurry and distill it in an arcane alembic. To work, arcane alembics need to be placed on top of a smelter. Multiple alembics can be placed on top of each other to increase storage, but it does not influence processing speed. The Essentia slurry will slowly be drawn into the alembic, and the individual aspected Essentia separated out. If the smelter is being powered by alimentum, this distillation process is much faster. The Essentia can then be extracted out of the alembic using files, jars, or more complex means. And what it means by more complex means, of course, is pipes. So, arcane alembic is crafted with some great wood, some Essentia filters, which I do believe you need silver wood for, yes, it's still that, brass plates, and a bucket with aqua and 50 V's cost. This is just for 1 arcane alembic. This is quite crazy, actually. But it has given us access to the warded jars and labels. Now, this is where Thaumcraft sort of starts kicking in a bit. Essentia can be stored in warded jars. Warded jars can be placed in the world and is able to store Essentia virtually indefinitely. The enchantment placed on jars also makes adding or extracting Essentia a breeze. Okay, the enchantment placed on the jars. Jars can be filled from an alembic by clicking the jar directly on the alembic. They can also be filled and emptied using files. What is more, they have an excellent storage medium for jams and preserves. Shift clicking on jars and alembics with an empty hand will empty them. Okay, so you've got the void jar. Now the void jar is very, very important. You need Perditio to do that though, with 50 V's cost. It's very important because if you get so much of one aspect, it could fill many jars, and if you've got this sort of automated process, then having a normal warded jar is not good because it backs up, because you've obviously filled the jar up. But a void jar will allow you to keep putting into that jar and keep putting into that jar, and you will only ever have 1 full jar. As soon as it gets full, it starts voiding all the rest. So yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. A brass lid brace, interesting. Why does one need a brass lid brace? And a blank label. That is new. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it's used for. But yeah. As long as a jar contains some Essentia, you can attach a jar label to it. This label will lock the jar to that type of Essentia and will not be able to accept any other kind of Essentia. You can remove a label by shift right clicking with an empty hand on the side of the jar containing the label. Take care to not shift click on any other side, as it will empty the jar as normal. You can place a label in a crafting bench with a file of Essentia to assign an aspect to it. And when placed on an empty jar, it will automatically lock the jar to that aspect. The Essentia used in the recipe is not consumed. Placing it on a filled jar will change the label to the jar's Essentia type. A label can be made blank again by simply placing it in a crafting grid. Okay, but what are these braces? Here we go, look. You can also craft brass lid braces when used on a jar. They will prevent Essentia from being drawn from or placed into the jar by anything other than tubes. Okay. I thought that's the only way that you would want to do it anyway. Picking up the jar will remove the brace and return it as an item. Okay, so we've got that, guys. Moving on, we can get access to Essentia tubes, and it just so happens that we've got both the observation for alchemy and artifice. Now, we actually need files of Essentia for this one. Vitium, Vinculum, Alienis, and Alchemia. Now, Alienis, why on earth did it choose that one? Alienis is not easy to come by. Every time I get talking, guys, and it goes nighttime. Without even me knowing about it, guys. It just turns into night. So, Alienis is only really easily accessible by ender pearls, I do believe. Is there anything else that is that can be used? I mean, there's these banners. They create quite a lot. What are in these banners? My goodness gracious me. 5 alienists for these banners. That's crazy. Oh, we've got void seeds back as well. Interesting. They've got alienists inside them. But other than that, we've got a remote from wireless redstone, but of course that requires ender pearls to make, which is why it has them. Ancient stone stairs. How does one create ancient stone? I don't think I've unlocked the ability to do this yet. This is why it's not coming up. But ender pearls. Ender pearls, guys, are the biggest thing. If I could really, if I could start getting endermen, like in one of these soul cages, that would be quite good to get a proper enderman spawner and doing it that way. That would be pretty awesome, guys. But okay, so moving on from this one then, we can start smelting down Essentia, which is always good, guys. But I think that the next stage is, of course, these Essentia tubes. You cannot go to the next form of Essentia smelter without unlocking this. So, and then, of course, the next one after that, you can't get to it without doing that. And, of course, this to do with void metal Essentia smelter. That'd be crazy. Alchemical automation. See, this is where it starts getting decent. But this is what we're after, the Essentia centrifuge. But I am going to sit and do a little bit more in the ways of theories now, guys. I'm going to use that. I'm going to start creating a theory. So let's see where we can go. That one was quite easy, actually. We've got 47 in Auramancy, 27 in Thaumic Bases, 16 in Eldritch, 15 in Arcane Infusion, 13 in Fundamentals. Let's grab that. Oh, we've got a nice little thing there. Let's see what that's done to our book. I don't think it's done anything else just yet. Arcane Infusion, of course, has always been there. So nothing's quite changed. Let's keep going. I'm not sure what these -12 and -7 is. It's probably from something else. But we've got 47 Auramancy, 40 Alchemy, 37 Fundamentals, and 23 Golemancy, which is awesome. I really want Golemancy, but we've completed that. Let's see if it makes any difference to our book. It unfortunately does not make any difference whatsoever to our book. God damn it. Alright, guys. A little birdie tells me that it's here. And I've been trying to get it through because I'm an idiot, basically, guys. We've got Artifice as well. We've actually managed to do all of that, so we've got access to Artifice, which is good. I like the Lamp of Fertility, and that might help me, actually, the Lamp of Growth, should I say, with my Thaumcraft, with my farm. Actually growing the farm would be really nice, but of course it does require a few things to help grow. Redstone Relays, Arcane Ears, all this sort of good stuff. The Infernal Furnace, nice. I like the fact that I'm getting a little bit extra from my ores. Would be great. But the biggest thing is this Golemancy. Now you need to have an observation of Golemancy, which I have, an observation of Fundamentals, which I also have. And you need to study an animated construct. The easiest one that you can do, guys, is the Snow Golem. So we're going to make one. We're going to make one today, guys. Whoop. There we go. And we need to just study it. How awesome is that? Now that should... I'm not going to keep you alive as long as I've done this. I have done this, so I'm sorry you don't. Because I don't want snow everywhere. I'm sorry. He will be fondly remembered. But anyways, discovering Golemancy. Thank God for that. This book has taught me many things. How to manipulate mana and magic on a fundamental level, how to imbue objects with magical properties, and even how to draw magic from the very air around me. Still some things elude me. There are some very basic, amazingly magical things almost anyone can do. Just stacking a few blocks together in the right pattern will cause them to transform into semi-sentient animated golems. How is this possible? Why would it even happen? Is the aura somehow responsible for this? I should study this phenomenon more closely. Which I did, so it's good. My findings are confusing to say the least. The natural golems that can be created are indeed infused with vis, but I do not believe their creation is thaumaturgical in nature. Whatever force animates them seems to come from elsewhere. Still, my research has at least borne some fruit. I have studied this animating force, and I believe I can recreate it using thaumaturgical principles. I should further my studies as soon as possible. In other words now, because I really want golems, guys. This is going to make my life so much easier. Okay, basic golemancy, new research discovered. Fantastic. I'm sure I can improve on the primitive constructs that anyone can craft. At the very least, I can use arcane science to design a simple mind that will be both dependable and predictable, instead of relying on chaotic nature of magic to direct my constructs. Now, I wonder what's changed with Golemancy, because by the looks of things, you don't get different types of golems now. Climbing, flight, you can... What? Golems can fly? Are you kidding me? That is awesome. Golem manipulation, block breaking, which is nice. Missing research required clockwork minds, and that is basically what we need to do. Missing research required infusion. We haven't got the brain in a jar just yet, but the clockwork minds. I need hedge alchemy. Where is that? Where is this hedge alchemy? Where is it? Give me it now. I forgot to really go through the whole lot of the... Where the hell is it, guys? Hedge alchemy. That's infusing. That's hedge alchemy. What the heck is hedge alchemy? There's alchemy. Is there some different sort of thing? What the heck is hedge alchemy? Alright guys, I found it. It's here. It was in alchemy. I was finding it. But I need to complete this, and I haven't completed this yet. I like Thaumcraft, guys. I really do like Thaumcraft. I like the new one. I like what it's done with it. It keeps you busy. Like, you're not waiting for things, or you're not doing, nothing, just grinding something to get there. But it does keep you busy. So we've got the observation of alchemy, which is nice. And we need to make magic tallow, which is rotten flesh with 1 ignis. And we can get that. Now, we do definitely have some rotten flesh. I'm pretty sure of that, guys. We've definitely killed a few zombies on our travels. Now, we do need... Does that got... Yes, it has. Right, guys. This is good, guys. The torch has what we need inside of it. So we just shove that in, guys. Shove that in. And we've got a bit of magic tallow, which is awesome. We're going to end up with some stuff in the air as well, but that'll be fine, surely, guys. We'll have to move all of this to a different part, just in case things do get a little bit prickly around here. We'll have to do that. So let's complete that. Some substances that are simple enough that just adding more of the same essential it contains is enough to create more of that substance. This isn't true for everything, but the phenomenon will probably prove useful. So this is like duplicating things, but with a little bit more of essentia to do it. So we need gunpowder, slime ball, ink sac, and glowstone dust. I don't know if I've got the slime ball. That's the issue here, guys. Oh, I do have the slime ball, which is awesome. So, does that show up as if I've done it, or do I have to recreate it? I bet I have to recreate it, guys. So, slime ball, alchemia, aqua, and victus. Now, that alchemia, I've been seeing it a lot, but I'm sure that's a new one for me. I've never seen it before. Now, gas tears. Of course it would be gas tears. Is there anything else? Cauldrons? It's got alchemia in it as well. Brewing stands. Interestingly enough. Other than that, a red nether brick. Interesting. Golden carrots, blaze powder. Okay, this shouldn't be hard. Oh, there we go, guys. Nether wart has got it in as well. So we need one of them. We need a bit of gunpowder as well. Okay. We need an ink sac and a glowstone. Well, I've definitely got the glowstone. That's not a problem. I'm pretty sure I've got the ink sac, because I always make a point of killing squids really early on in this sort of mod pack. So as long as Thaumcraft's in there, you know I'm going to be killing some ink sacs. Well, I'm not going to be killing the ink sacs. I'm going to be killing the squids for the ink sacs, guys. So it looks as if we've got to actually start creating ourselves some duplicates of the slime ball, gunpowder, glowstone dust, and the ink sac using this cauldron and using that ability to be able to do so. I'm not going to do this on camera, guys. I will do this off camera, and I'll be back once I've done it. Some of these are actually very interesting. Look at this slime ball. It creates 5, 5, and 1. Now, if you actually take a look and see this, it actually takes 5, 5, and 1, and then just a normal slime ball in there as well. So it literally is just shoving it in, and then shoving another slime ball in, and you've got 2 back. That's pretty interesting, guys. Like, usually there's some sort of cost involved. Obviously, the water seems to be the cost. 10 looks, 5 of the owl thingamabobbins. Let's see about this with the glowstone. So yeah, 10 and 5, and then the glowstone. So it literally is just piling both of them in, and then getting another one back for that. That seems a little bit weird to me. Like, where is the cost to this? Where is the cost? I could stand here all day and just duplicate my items like this. Unless there's a cost to the environment, maybe. Do you reckon there is? I have no idea. Please do let me know. Comment section, guys, or in the chat. Please do let me know if... I just seem to... This doesn't seem right to me. Either this is completely unbalanced... Because I could literally just do this again and again and again and again and have loads and loads of ink sacs, loads and loads of slime balls, loads and loads of gunpowder, and it's never costing me anything other than the water that I'm using, which doesn't seem right to me. But anyways, going forwards, because we've now done that stage 2, some things you have to simply... Some things you simply have to craft from scratch. All I need is a base material to add essential to, and with a bit of luck, I can manufacture a new relatively common but annoying to get materials. Clay, string, cobweb, and a lava bucket. So clay requires dirt and 5 aqua, which that's not actually that hard to do. Let's get 5 aqua and a piece of dirt really quickly, guys. Very easy to do, actually. This is how you get clay. Okay, this is an easier way of getting clay, I suppose. Let's chuck them all in at once, and then chuck the dirt in, and then with lovely jubbly, we've got a piece of clay. That's our first one done and dusted. The string, 5 bestia, 1 fabrico. Interestingly enough, I do have these as well. And I've certainly got fabrico, I've got an absolute ton of them. And then we shove in a piece of, what was it, wheat? Really? Wheat? What's that going to do with anything? We shove in a piece of wheat with this as well. Let's see how much water we've got in here first. Have we got enough to be able to... Yes! And a piece of wheat. And there we go. We've got a lovely piece of string there for our troubles. A cobweb. Now we need 5 vinculum, which is to trap or imprison, and 1 piece of string. Now we've definitely got the string, which is here. So, vinculum, I've looked at this before, and there is a way of getting it, like, really easy way of getting it. Traps. Not traps, sorry, fence, like, gates. There was another way I did it, and I can't remember what... Oh, it's soul sand. That was the way that I did it. Oops. Just took my pants off, as you do, in the middle of your Minecraft day. Just whip your pants off, guys. Right, we've got, doors as well. That's a good way of doing it. I've just so happen to have some free doors kicking around, so that's not a problem. 5 vinculum then, and the 1 piece of string. This definitely has 5 vinculum in it. It's also got a little bit more, but it'll have to do. And I think we'll have enough water to be able to deal with this. Yeah, guys. And a piece of string. There we go. Get cobweb, which is pretty awesome. And the last thing is a lava bucket. Now, interestingly enough, we can get lava buckets doing this. 15 ignis, 5 terra. Let's have a gander. Well, ignis, I know, comes from gunpowder. So we could use both of these gunpowders. And the 5 terra, I don't think that... Yeah, that does not come from there. We've got plenty of terra. 5 terra. So that, and an empty bucket. And this is the interesting part, because I don't want to use the bucket that I've already got, so I'll just go ahead and create another one. I'm running low on materials once again, guys. I'm going to have to go for another mining spree, I think. Now, to save messing around, I'm actually going to drag this up now. Beautiful. There's probably much more efficient ways of doing this, guys, but we're just doing it quickly. We're getting it done. I really want to get into some Golemancy. By the end of this episode, I want to start getting into it. Oh, Lord. I can't do it because it's just like, oh, you're kidding. It keeps spitting them back out. And I don't have any ignis in here to be able to use. Let's see what we've got really quickly. Oh, there we go. It's not great, guys, but it will have to do. Now, what was the other thing that I've just put in there that's slowly going away? 5 terra, of course. So let's go and grab some more terror. And let's try this again. Can't put 2 gunpowder in at once. Right, so that's 10. There's that, and there's the bucket. And there is the lava. Advancement made. Hot stuff. I'm pretty sure I got a bucket of lava before, guys. Maybe not. But there we go. Right, anyways, complete. For now, my studies are complete, but who knows what other wondrous discoveries I will make in the future. Hedge alchemy, is completed. That means we can get into clockwork mines. Now, iron golems, snow golems, and similar creations that anyone can throw together all have the same thing in common. They are unpredictable and uncontrollable. The spirits that animate them are wild and follow their own will. This is a problem. If I'm going to create intelligent magical servants, then I'll have to give them a mind that is willing to take orders. The simplest solution is a clockwork construct quickened by thaumaturgy. Designing one will be no simple feat, however. So, observation golemancer, which we've got, 1 cognitio, 1 victus. We've found both of these, so we can complete this, which is great. I have managed to crack artificial intelligence in the form of magically powered clockwork mind. It has its limitations and very little autonomy, but it is a start. Of course, now that I have a mind, it's time to put it to use. I should draw up some designs for golems, along with a way to craft them. So we need 1 theory in artifice and 1 theory in golemancy. Now this is the problem that I'm getting. Golemancy theories are very, very few and far between, guys. I don't know if there's some way of making it easy. Theory. Oh, that you can't really get to them. You probably could in the creative menu, but obviously I'm not going into the creative menu, guys. So, taking this into account, I'm really not sure why it's so cheap to do that. It seems absolutely ridiculous for it to be so cheap. Right, let's take that out of there and put that in there instead. Have I got any room? I want you. Now, gunpowder I've definitely got somewhere. There we go. Just clearing out my inventory, guys. I've got so much crap, like everywhere. So much rubbish. This is an issue. The theory for the golemances, it looks like I'm going to have to sit in front of my table once more and see if we can't get this one cracked. Wow, that took a while, guys. I went through so much paper. I went through an ink vial. The golemancy thing, the theory, wasn't actually that hard to get. I think when you open golemancy, those sorts of cards can be drawn when you do the research, so it wasn't that hard to get it. Artifice, on the other hand, that was very difficult to get, and that was the one that took the longest. I had to create pistons, I had to create sticky pistons to make this thing work, redstone comparators. Oh, but we've done it, guys. Complete. Done and dusted. Look at this. Research completed. Control seal, clockwork mines. Beautiful. I have designed a special press that will allow me to craft simple golems. It includes an anvil and a forge to make assembling the parts easier. To assemble as golem... What? To assemble a golem, I simply need to access the golem press and select the components I wish to craft the golem from. For now, the selection is fairly limited, but I'm sure I will develop more. Actually designing a golem is fairly straightforward. Each golem is made up of 5 components: the base material, a type of head, arms, legs, an optional add-on module. Simply select which of these you want to use, and a list of crafting components will be displayed on the right. You will need to have the listed components in your inventory before you can start the crafting process. Listed in the middle of the interface, you will see the traits, hearts, armour and damage the golem will possess. Lastly, you will need to supply Machina Essentia to the press. Oh god. This is where things get interesting. Several ports are provided below the main press mechanism for this purpose. You can now place the golem wherever you wish, but it will not do much unless... Well, let's not read that until we've actually done it. So we need to make a golem press. It's a mystical construct, and it looks amazing. I don't know what it's going to look like, but if it's like this, guys, it's probably going to look pretty awesome. We need a stone table, an anvil, piston, cauldron, and iron bars. And, what's that little... Is that where the iron bars go? I think it is, guys. That's interesting. Wow, okay, we've unlocked quite a lot from this. Golem Mastery, we've not yet begun with this. Golem Logistics, Control Seal. This is... Awesome, guys. So we've unlocked this sort of stuff. Golems cannot do anything they are not told to do. For this purpose, I have created control seals. You can place these circular clay seals against almost any surface you wish. Once you do, they will become ethereal and intangible. But you will still be able to see them as long as you hold a golem, another seal, or a golemancer's bell. The bell will be an important tool. I know this. This is interesting. This has changed quite a lot, guys. So we've got the control seal to collect. This seal will constantly check an area you define for dropped items. If items are found, it will instruct any nearby golems to pick up those items. So instead of actually putting the seal on the golem to turn it into a golem that you want it to do, it seems as if this acts maybe, possibly, like a hopper hock. But instead of picking up those items itself, it says to any golem that's in the area, please, would you go and pick those loose items up over there and do your job? And the golem just goes off and does it. I think that's pretty good. Control seal to store. This seal can be placed on the side of a container. It will designate the container a possible destination for any items that golems nearby happen to be holding. As long as a container can accept it, the golems will deliver the item. You can filter out certain items using a white or black list, which is pretty awesome. For the white list, you can also specify a specific number of items that must be placed in the inventory. By default, this number is infinite, marked with a gold star. If placed against a non-container block, the golem will simply drop items at that location. Like with inventories, you can also specify a specific number of items with the whitelist. Any items located in the world within a 1 block radius of the seal will be counted. Okay? Pretty awesome. And then we've got the empty. I can instruct golems to pick up and store items, but I might need to retrieve items from inventories. Designing a seal to do this should be simple enough. So we need another theory. This is something that we can actually do. We can block break, which is exactly what I want for my tree farm. Hopefully that will block break the whole tree, but we'll see. And guard. This is something that we don't have access to just yet. Golem manipulation for block breaking. What is this? I should increase the number of tools and abilities my golems have available to them. Maybe I could give them the ability to break blocks. Climbing. I should find a way to improve the mobility acuity of my golems. Maybe I should give them the ability to climb walls. And then of course flight, which is insane. Improved golem combat, which we could use golems actually to kill the cows that we spawn. That is a very interesting way of doing it. That's not a bad idea. Maybe then we don't need to do the tree farm way. That could be interesting, but we need to do this first, and that's another theory of golemancy right there. Needless to say, actually, if you go on here, you can see your knowledge totals, guys, and we've just done the theory for golemancy, which is what we've hardly got anything there. And of course, the artifice we've got a little bit more on actually than what we have golemancy. I must have done a good job of the last lot that came around. We've found another one, theory of periphery. Thaumic bases, of course, we still don't have one of them just yet, but this is very interesting, guys. We're getting to a point now where we're really getting into some Thaumcraft. Now the issue is, and this is the same issue we're going to hit with everything that we do, we need to start getting into Essentia tubes. We need to start getting into supplying some Essentia to the jars, the Wardy jars, and basically get that sort of thing set up, because if we don't do that, we're basically shooting ourselves in the foot here. We are, however, before I disappear, going to go ahead and make the golem press. So I need a stone table. I need all of this stuff, guys. I'm going to get it, and then I'll be back. Alright, let's go and give this a try. Now, we're temporarily going to set it up. Of course, I keep saying this, but we are temporarily doing all this sort of stuff. So in the Thaumonomicon, it is telling us that we need the piston in the right corner, the cauldron in the left. So let's do this. Piston here. The cauldron there. Okay. Then we've got the stone table and the anvil. Stone table, the anvil. And then, of course, the iron bar just on the top there, which is interesting. Now what do we do with it? It tells us, how do we actually craft this, though? We've done it. But what do we hit it with? Do we hit it with what do we hit it with? What do we do? We've got no wand to slap it with, guys. How do we actually craft this? Also possible to design. So that's not it. Lastly, you'll need to supply Machina. To assemble a golem, I simply need to access the golem press and select the components. Allow me to craft simple golems. Includes an anvil and a forge to make parts easier. That's a clockwork mind, obviously. And then the mystical construct. How on earth do I do this mystical construct, guys? Salis Mundus, maybe? Let's give it a try. Usually is. That's what it pretty much does everything else. Let's give it a try then. So we've got one of those. We need one of those. We need a bit of flint, which I know I have plenty of. And then we need 3 different things that we've got plenty of, which is... okay. Right. Fabrico. Metallum. Potentia. Ball. Redstone. And a flint, and that'll give us a Salis Mundus. Let's take that back out. Let's see if this works, guys. Oh, we've given it a sprinkling of the magic dust, and look how awesome this block looks. This is fantastic, guys. Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay, so let's have a great wood. Can we change this? What's this here? Look. Carry frame allows the golem to carry 2 stacks of items instead of 1. We don't need we don't need that much, to be honest. Can we not? It is light and agile, but not particularly sturdy. I can't change this. I can't seem to change this one, guys. The default head, default arms, basic legs, a pair of simple legs, no particular strengths or weaknesses. We've got the uni wheel, a a golem on a wheel! Are you kidding me? Oh, this is going to be awesome, guys. A single wheel, quite fast, but incapable of jumping or going up steep hills. So basic leg seems okay for me. 8 hearts, 1 armour, 0 whatever the hell this is, guys. And we need 8 Machina, of course. We need to pump that in. 3 great wood planks, 2 simple arcane mechanisms, and 1 clockwork mind. We're not at a point, and I really wish we were at a point, guys, to be able to show you this, but I'm not at a point to be able to do this because of the Machina. I could, of course, craft these, but I can't do it because of the Machina at this moment in time. It's a pain. But I do have, actually, it might be just a case of... Let's get back into the alchemy. Of just finding this. But then I need to get the files. Oh, yeah, and then it's the alienness, guys, and that's the problems. Those are the problems that we're having. Next episode, guys, we're going to come back. We will start getting into some golems. This is absolutely fantastic, guys. I'm loving the look of this. I've only got access to the 1 different golem at the moment. Like the materials. Oh, okay. Wood, iron, and clay. That's interesting. We'll have to go through... Oh, we can complete this. Examine iron. We've done this. Okay. Does this one just examine clay? We've done that as well. Nice. And then brass. Of course, we've done that. And that's all of them. So, can I now... Oh, I can. That's iron. That requires 12 Machina, 3 iron plates. The golem is heavier than average, which reduces its speed and agility. Counters and countered by light. Counters and countered by light. What? Fireproof and blastproof. Nice. The clay one, crafted from baked clay. It's not particularly sturdy, but the resulting golem is fireproof and relatively light. So it's immune to fire damage. It's pretty awesome. Oh, you can get different types of arms as well now. Fine manipulators. These arms end in delicate and dexterous hands. Oh my lord. A great deal of manual dexterity can perform tasks requiring precision and a delicate touch. Counters and countered by clump. Maybe that's something to do with like silk touch, maybe. Oh, the uni wheel, guys. That is amazing. And then, of course, we've got the brass. It's not as sturdy as iron, nor as resistant to fire. Normally, brass is heavier than iron, but it allows for superior construction methods, which resulted in a much lighter frame. So, counters and countered by heavy increases speed and agility. The carry frame, we can put that on. Awesome. Fine hands. Uni wheel, guys. That's pretty crazy, isn't it? It's pretty crazy. I'm loving the look of this. Really am loving the look of this, guys. And I can't wait to get involved with this. biothermic eyes. I should find a way to improve the visual acuity of my golems. So maybe, you know, like, make them see further. But we need another theory of golemancy there, a fermented spider eye, and census, which we haven't had so far. So, anyways, guys, that is going to be it for the end of this stream / episode. If you're watching on YouTube a week later, I do hope you're enjoying it, guys. If you are watching on YouTube, please go ahead and leave a like. It'd be fantastic if you could. And please do comment, because I do read all my comments. If you've not seen from my past videos, if I've read your comment, then a little heart will be there. And for those that do require a reply, I definitely will do. But if I've read your comment and it's something that I can mention in the episode, then please do keep that in mind, that I probably will at some stage. So it's been great. I'm loving this series so far, guys. I really am. I've actually got a new series coming out soon. Well, I say series. It's a new type of video. It's a new thing. It's a new game entirely. It's not Minecraft, so don't get excited if you are a Minecraft fan. It is not Minecraft. It's called Software Inc. If you're interested in that, then keep your eye out, because there will be a separate stream. It's not going to be on a Thursday, of course, but there will be a separate stream with the Software Inc. On there as well. And that'll be just as and when I get extra time to be able to record those sorts of episodes. This one, of course, will be first and foremost, and I will definitely get this recorded every week for you guys. But we continue on. Golems. Yes. Until next time, guys, thank you very much for coming, and I will see you next time. Until then, stay safe.